Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the 95th episode. Woo! Episode 95, 95th episode of the Political Spotlight. And I am your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to let you guys know, just briefly right up front, here is the thumbnail. I'm not really sure what this episode is called, because I was going to call it a couple different things, but then I just thought, hey, I can make a little thing with all these words and connect them all. So screw it. That's what I'm going to do. And then I was like, wait a minute. Do I read this left to right, up and down, inside out? Well, how do I do this? So what I just decided was, screw it. I'll read it by alphabetical order. So I guess the episode title is Awareness, Ethics, Facts, Lies, and Truth. I think that's probably a good way. I just put it in alphabetical order, and it works that way. Awareness, ethics, facts, lies, and truth. So that's the title of this episode, and it's not just me in here. Of course, I am always joined by the forever amazing producer, Kate. She is here doing what she does, and we are going to be welcoming Elizabeth Edgell, Miss Elizabeth Edgell, on here in just a few moments. We're going to be welcoming her, and I'm going to tell you all who she is, for those of you that don't know her and all of that. But I have just a real quick little bit of news I want to tell you just briefly. We'll talk more about it either tomorrow or next week. But it is good news, and maybe we'll even talk to Elizabeth about it a little bit, but we'll see. But before we get there, I want to say I'm getting ready to make a statement. And there are two types of people in this world. There are people that will agree with the statement that I'm going to make. And then there are liars. We all like to kid ourselves, or there are people out there that like to kid themselves, and they act like politics is some kind of upper crust, black tie, suit wearing, polite, no curse words, no ill tempers, no disagreements, no negativity, no drama. Okay? And listen, let's be honest. That's how we would like it to be. That's how it should be. It would be nice if it could be that way. It would be wonderful if it could be that way. But in reality, it's not that way. In reality, it is a blood sport. It is all hands on deck. everybody fighting for everything at all times. And there are the people that are polite and lying behind the scenes and doing all the craziness and chaos. And they like to pretend that they're not, and they're involved in the drama just as much as anybody else. Everybody in politics is down in the mud fighting, even Dan Ridenour. Okay, even Eric Holcomb, even John Mark, your sheriff, all of them. And almost the more high society, champagne drinking, sticking the finger out, not being negative, those people are almost worse than the rest of us. I don't like for people, that's something that people say about me. Oh, he's negative. He's just drama. He doesn't do anything. Well, those people are full of shit. They know that's not true. First of all, I'm no different than anybody else in politics. We're out here playing the same game. And if you don't know that, and if you don't want to admit that, brother and sister, you're blind. Okay? So we're going to be talking to Elizabeth, and there are going to be people saying, oh, look, Bilbrey's getting into this. Listen, there's not much going on politically right now. We're in between the elections. We're coming into the holiday. Everybody's kind of burnt out. This is something that's going on. People are talking about this. People on the high end, people on the low end, people in the Republican side, people on the Democrat side. This is something people are talking about. Moreover, it's interesting to look at why this thing happened, why people do what they do, why they sling the mud that they sling, and why all of this stuff happens, the good, the bad. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not taking any sides. We're going to see how things fall, see what's going on. I'm not saying anything. We're just going to see how it falls. But I just want everybody to keep an open mind first and foremost. Number two, before we bring her on, and I just want to say this, very important, and this has nothing to do with the remainder of the show, but it is very, very, very important breaking news. All right, we do have breaking news for you. This is very, very important. Okay? Today, a judge in Marion County made a ruling that will affect all of us, okay? And this is a good thing. Indiana election law found to be unconstitutional. This is really, really, really good news. And after we talk with Elizabeth about everything else we're going to talk about, I want to pick her brain on this too, because this is good for everybody. In my opinion, this is good for everybody except those at the state house that are the Republicans that are afraid of other Republicans. They're afraid of Democrats. They're afraid of libertarians. And so this is good. This is really, really, really good news. So I'm just going to read this real quick. A Marion County judge has ruled that the Indiana election law that limits candidates from appearing on the ballot in primaries is unconstitutional. The ruling stems from a lawsuit filed by the Southern Indiana egg farmer and U.S. Senate candidate, Republican John Rust. Rust had filed to get on the ballot, but had not voted in the last two Republican primaries. Now, there's a lot to talk about that, and we can talk about that at a later date, and maybe we can talk about, well, is he really a Republican? Is he a Democrat? What's going on? But the bottom line is he has not voted in the last two Republican primaries. Now, it's not the last two. It's just two consecutive, the most two recent consecutive. So the article's a little wonky there. But he had not done that. So the only way he could run as a Republican is then get the chairperson of the Republican Party from the county in which he lives, which is Jackson County, to sign off on him, to sign a letter saying that he is a Republican in good standing in her eyes. And she wouldn't do it. She would not sign off on that. So he said, hey, this is bullcrap. You're violating my constitutional rights. I wish more people would have done this. I wish everyone in the last 2 years would have done this. And I don't necessarily like or agree with John Rust, and I have my beliefs and reasons for that, but I do back him in what he's done here. Judge Patrick Dietrich, that's kind of a hard name, Patrick Dietrich, a Republican judge, held that this law violated federal and state constitutions on several grounds. He ruled that the law violated the First and 14th Amendments, stating that the state has no compelling interest in keeping Rust off the ballot. Now, you can take Rust's name out and apply literally any other candidate that's been kicked off in the last 2 years. He's just who filed it first. In addition to the U.S. Constitution, Dietrich ruled that the law also violated the state's constitution, saying it adds extra requirements to qualify for office which are not on the ballot. And ladies and gentlemen, that is something that I have been saying since this law went into action. What happened today as a result of this lawsuit right here is a good step in the right direction for voters, for citizens, for candidates, and for politics in Indiana. Now, do I think that this is going to stay? I'm sure Diego Morales will fight it. I'm sure others will fight it. We'll have to see what goes on from here, because that's what happens. But this is a good step. So I'm very happy. We will be talking more about this later on in other episodes. But this did happen today, and I wanted to get that information out. So yay, good John Rust. Good to Judge Dietrich, and fantastic news. So, all right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get to our guest. Our guest is, just a normal human being, citizen out there living in the world, trying to do what she can do. I'm sure she's made some mistakes in her life. I'm sure she's done good in her life. I'm not here to judge her. There's somebody else's job to do that. There have been all sorts of things. This woman is not a stranger to controversial subjects and controversial topics. She is like anyone else in politics, I'll say. The write-up I did, the description for this says, government and politics can be drama-filled adventures. While it's always best to remove as much of that as possible, sometimes one must meander through the mire. In this 95th episode, I welcome Elizabeth Edgell to the show. Edgell is the owner and admin of Delaware County Community Awareness, a community awareness and advocacy group on Facebook. She's also a board member to the recently formed Muncie City Citizens Ethics Board. And Edgell has been involved in and around the local political scene for some time now. Is no stranger to controversial issues. Recently, some allegations were made against Edgell from a former friend, really. And we'll let her talk about that as much as she wants to. And this person is another citizen advocate. We're giving her a chance. She wants to come on and talk, and we're going to talk to her and find out what she wants to talk about. Listen to what she's talking about, and kind of hit the high marks, the low marks, and everything in between. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to be welcoming Miss Elizabeth Edgell to the show. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Well, thank you. I think is this did I interview you long ago on Perception is Reality?
No, you didn't.
Okay, I couldn't remember. I thought that
we were able to know you each other's stage then.
Okay, all right. I was thinking that I did, and I told somebody the other day that I thought that I interviewed you, but when I was actually going back in preparation for this, it was another person that had also lived in Anderson and that moved to Muncie.
Yeah.
And so I got that confused. But
after over there in Anderson, I was a bail agent for a few
Okay.
years. And we had investigated the mayor over there, Broderick,
Yep.
and we had found that he had, just like you guys were doing with the State Board of Account audits, you were looking at what they had dinged the city for.
Yep.
I did that over there, and I found out that he was missing receipts for like, I don't think it was like 18,000 some odd change. And so I did a FOIA request about that, and I requested the same records that the audit used. And to this date, I have not got 13,000 and some in receipts. But whether people know it or not, your FOIA is useful if they decide to utilize it with you.
Yeah.
If they don't, in the state of Indiana, you only have one option, and that's to sue them, and no one's ever won. So it's really a little band aid that they give a citizen, or a little throw you a treat now. And ultimately, if the municipality decides not to do it, there's no consequence.
That's the thing that sucks. When I remember when I first started, because I've been politically active for a long time, but I remember when I first started getting records, like everyone else. I was talking to my frequently. I will be talking to my grandfather, and he's like, I can't believe they just give you this, and I'm like, they've got to. They
It's
don't. What?
It's ours.
Yeah, I'm like, it's ours. They don't
Yeah.
have a choice. And so I'm like, I tell him that all the time. But I remember when I first started doing this, I I was much like him. I couldn't believe it, but I was shocked to find out that the public access counselor, Luke Britt, if they
I
don't
know
do
him
it,
well.
if you file the complaint,
So,
Luke's got very little he
yeah,
can do.
and
He has no-
I think ultimately his final statement was something to the effect of, I really hope that they do the right thing and give them to you. I wrote him back,
Yes.
and I said, they don't exist. That's why. And so the police, actually, you know how they have an officer in every city council meeting anywhere, because they can be quite problematic. Problematic. So they had an officer in there, and that morning I had signed my lease to move back to Muncie. I moved to Rhonda College, right down from Dill Street, actually. And I was in there, and the council had asked me to update them on this, so I come in to give them the final update. And the mayor wasn't in attendance, but number two, which I called Tim Linane. I always misspell it or mispronounce his last name on purpose, because he loves to correct me. But his license plate said number two, and I couldn't think of a more appropriate way to describe him. But however, that when the meeting ended, the officers started screaming that I didn't live where I said that the address that I'd been using was the bail bond office, and he was showing everyone on his phone where I was and telling them to come to my house and come to my office and basically screw with me. And so I always know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away, and when to run. And I didn't either of those things. I was already deciding to move. And that's when I landed here in Tyler's last year of his last term.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely been an interesting run. So, you have been involved in politics. So, what over in Muncie now for a while, and so
About 6 years.
okay, so for about 6 years, and you started a Facebook page. So, I guess probably the a good place to start would be, obviously there's some drama going on. Why do you think this is going
It
on?
ain't drama. I do. If I mean, my people that know me, I don't do this. And the first thing I said to you and another friend, because two people out of the, I don't know, what do I got, 26 something thousand people. Um, I rounded up to 27. I've actually got like about 1,500 waiting to get in. And since I do those myself and vet everyone, um, we get a lot of like those Nigerian ones, and we get all kinds
Oh
of.
yeah.
So you have to vet everyone. That's not necessarily because of the community or our rules. But let me get started. So, my grandmother was a Democratic woman. She had been on the front lines with war. My grandfather served in the Navy in Korea in World War II. So she drugged me as a child to every single Democratic woman fundraiser or anything that she could. And I enjoyed watching that. And there's memories I have now. There's times with some people that ended up being senators or vice presidents. Um, but the parties were a lot different then. So that kind of stuck with me. In my life, I went to Frankton High School. I graduated there in '89. I came over to Ball State in the same year. I got married that year. I have two kids. They're in their 30s. I have a grandson. It's around 9 or 10. And I worked in my aunt's newspaper. She was the editor of the Elwood Call Leader. And I was in foster homes, so she had herself made a foster parent. And I had worked for her for many summers doing the 4-H results. And this is back when they actually printed the newspaper, the big old huge rollers and the typeset. And so I'm grateful I had that experience. Um, so I was editor of my school newspaper for my junior and senior year. It was a joy of my life. I remember doing the paper on the Apple IIe. That made it a lot easier than the typewriters and the uh, all that it entailed back then. Um, so it's been in my system. Then I raised kids, did those things. I went to college. I went Ball State journalism, Ivy Tech for business, and most recently Indiana Wesleyan for digital media marketing, so that I could update myself on what I do. And what I do is marketing. I don't sell myself because it's not about me. I would have called it the Elizabeth Edgell Group. I did this type of work over at my bail bond office. It was my boss that actually introduced me to Facebook groups. And Alice Flowers, shout out to you, girl. Um, she's an awesome person. And she also got me re involved in politics over there because she had some questions, and they were very good questions. And once I ask a question, I think you go on a quest. All right. So I'm careful about the questions I ask because I don't have a lot of extra time. So her and I did some work over there with the needle exchange program, and we got that stopped because it was costing the citizens a lot of money locally. And now it is run properly and is not costing the taxpayer except at the federal level. So which is a lot less in your taxes than than the local level around here, especially in Delaware County. Um, so we did that kind of work over there, and then I moved back here to Muncie, and we had run the scanner over there. When I mean run it, I mean we broadcast it for Broadcastify, and we were the ones to put the whole feed out. So any kind of feed that you get on your phone, any app, any kind of scanner app, any way you listen to it, it comes from Broadcastify. And I almost got to run the one here, except COVID screwed me. And I had a scanner coming right before COVID hit, and it was coming from China. So it never got here. And so someone stole that scanner spot from me during that time. I was pissed. Anyway, I think that the scanner is your best source of local information. The way we do our stories in my group is they're developing stories. All right, so we post the scanner call that comes over the scanner just like it is said. But we do not post exact addresses of homes. Now, businesses we will. They're public information anyway. But we do like the 100 block of 18th Street. Okay, so it's general. We haven't had any ambulance chasers or anything like that, so I think we're doing good. We did have that problem in Madison County. So running that group over there taught me a lot of things about running a group here. And so the specific rules that we have and the things that we make sure that we do are not only legal and they will withstand my liability, which is huge in the court of law. They will also make sure that it is morally correct. We had someone lose their job over there because of a comment that they made in my group, and I took that personally. So we don't allow any of the city, state, local government workers to be in there. Now, I'm not stupid enough to think, or police, or firemen, anyone. Um, that's to protect them and their job. You might find out something here about your bosses you don't like. I don't want to affect anyone's what they bring home for the table. I take that real serious myself when someone
Sure.
messes with my money, which is what this whole show is about. It's
Yeah.
not money that I value. I'm not a material person. I value the reputation. And the
Sure.
reputation is that a lot of people say a lot of things about me. I'm a big mouth. I'm a bitch. I'm all these things. Those things I agree to at any time I can be. That's fact.
Right.
I will be today. I was today. I will be tomorrow. I was yesterday. Um, but what they don't say is that I'm a liar. And the reason that's important to me isn't because I care about what people think, but people around here in this county are proud people in the Midwest as a whole. They will not ask for help from people that they don't trust because to them, asking for help hits you here in your gut. And even people that don't like me, if they need help, will ask me for help privately because they trust me, because the information I put out is true. So that's why I am giving a shit about responding to any of this nonsense. Otherwise, it'd be just like I told you.
Sure. Sure.
I mean, really, I don't. If I cared about what people thought, I'd never get out of bed.
All right. Right. So when one of the things that's been going on is, and I think this is probably pretty important to you, because one of the things that I know that you pushed during the last election, and you've talked about pretty frequently over the last 4 years, is a citizens ethics group. That's
I
something that
had,
you pushed.
I did.
And so you have pushed and pushed and pushed for that. And then the council finally puts that in place, and you're named to that council board. And um, I think that some people thought that, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's something she's been pushing for. It's something that she wants. I think it rubbed some people the wrong way.
I
I'm
guess
sure
I
it
missed
did.
that part. I didn't even think about that part. I was so honored to even be considered, and it was Rose Selvey that put me up. However, I had spoken to several other counselors, about thinking about going for it because I had sent, I'd done a presentation at the beginning of their term,
Mhm.
um, because they have one in Anderson, and it's more of a citizen review board. And what they do is they anything that could be a lawsuit against the city comes through them, and they have subpoena power, and they can subpoena witnesses, and they can investigate, and then they take their report to the council if they deem it to be something that is of need of looking at, or that
Okay.
might be an issue. And it's kind of a heads up, and it's another layer of citizen involvement, which you and I are fans of.
Okay. And yeah, absolutely. As much
It's a checks and
involvement.
balances.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And so this board they've been working on this board for a while, but it's just recently been put together. It's only met a couple of times. And then these allegations come out. And so you being a person that says, I don't like being called a liar. I'm not called a liar. So when someone does that, I mean, how do you, what do you
But
do to push back against that?
the,
How?
the issue for me is, and my lawyers are still looking at this, by the way.
Mhm.
I have two, one in Delaware County and one out of Delaware County. And I met them in the progress of my bail bond. So basically, the issue that I had is that this wasn't just your average Facebook post. This called out things, and uh, I'm going to sidestep for a second and say this is why it's important that when you're going to portray yourself as a journalist, or somebody that's not just like you always say you're a commentator.
Mhm.
You know, you define yourself well. I call myself a little of both, because I curse a lot. I'm Irish. It's what I do, and I get impassioned with it. So when I'm writing a story, like for my Manifest Destiny Reporter, it's very factual. It doesn't tell you what to think. It doesn't lead you in either side or any direction, and it's not about you. You don't insert yourself in the story, and that way you know that you're doing it for altruistic reasons, right? That it's for the greater good. Then people couldn't make up their own minds, because I actually know that the people here in Delaware County are pretty smart. They're a lot smarter than the powers that be give them credit for. And 35,000 of them that didn't show up to vote this year
Yeah.
are telling you that how smart they are.
Right.
And 35,000 registered voters didn't vote. So
Right.
I'm just saying, so the problem was that she sent it to every member of the city council and the ethics advisory board that I'm on. And see, we're going to be setting the tone and the policy and the procedure for ethics going forward in the city of Muncie. And to say that's an honor just doesn't really encapsulate what I really think of that. To be involved in the policy making is incredible. I went to my first meeting and I was kind of surprised by the people that were there. Some of them I didn't think should have been there, personally. I'm not going to call anybody out because we're still in the process and I don't want to do that. But, I'm sure people that didn't think I needed to be there either. So I'm sure we were all looking around thinking the same thing. The thing that I'm concerned about and it is that they seem to want to do, to look at the state law and to look at other counties in the state and their laws, and to look at what the basic formulation for ethics is in the city. I believe we should look at, first off, we should all make a list of the things that have happened unethically in the last 10 years. Right. And then we should consider those things and their effect that they've had on the city and still affecting the city. All right. Because it does affect the city in so many ways that are just too many to even start into with that right now. We could do 5 shows about that. But if we look at our city specifically, I think we should be trailblazers. I think we should do something a little different. And I think we should have a higher standard because our city has been unethical. All right. That's my opinion on how it's going so far. Now I missed
Sure.
the second meeting. I believe I was called out for that by Rose Selvey at the end of the last city council I was watching from home. She made the ethics director state, and he seemed really uncomfortable with that. And I will apologize to him later for him having to deal with that. I didn't email him that day. I had an eye doctor appointment, and many of you know I've lost an eye a couple of years ago. And I went to the eye appointment and found out that the sight in my remaining eye is probably going within the next few years. And so I had some questions. It ran a little long. It was emotional. And when I finished, I just couldn't go to an ethics meeting. So I didn't do that. And I thought I would explain it to him in person. He's such a nice guy. I'm really averse to putting things down in an email or a message. And when I sent you the material I sent you today, that's why.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. That's why. I
Yeah.
mean, I stand by everything I say in written word, but a lot of people don't. And
Right.
I kept a lot of written words, didn't I?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what people, I don't think people realize that.
My grandmother said, cover your ass.
Absolutely. That's very true.
You meant that shit.
So when we've had a couple questions here from folks that's
Okay.
commenting as well. And so one of the let me go back here and get through this. One of the commenters has said, so I'm aware of this, but I know that there might be people out there that's not. So I know that you've made a brief statement about the allegations, but for the people that don't know,
Yes.
We've had some people that have said, do you plan to address the allegations, or what are you looking to do with that?
That's what I'm doing
Okay, so
right now.
yeah, all right. So that
That's why I
I
got
just
to do.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Right now,
So
honestly, to be honest, and I told you this earlier, I didn't even read the whole thing until today, right before the show.
right.
I get a lot of negative feedback from what I do. It's
Sure.
expected and welcome because I at least know that they're participating. All right. And if
Right.
you're participating with me, you're participating about something that affects your community. All right. So I got big shoulders and I'm used to that. That doesn't bother me at all. But when I start an email or I start to read a message and it's negative, I don't read anymore. Who the hell needs to sit around and read that shit about themselves? And because it's going to make you be defensive. And I'm not. I didn't wake
Sure.
up today defensive. I'm not going to go to sleep that way. And those that want to believe it are free to do so. It's a free country. The fact is that to make those allegations like she did, she should have been well versed in how you do that. It's called two unrelated sources here. Two. And or believe me, the stories I could write if I just had the information she thought she had. My goodness. I mean, my goodness, I could write some stories, but I don't do rumor and gossip and drama. So when I read it today, I skimmed a couple pages of it when you sent it to me, and I didn't own docs. Okay, let's address that one because I saw that
Okay.
question in the comments. Um, no, see, her whole premise was wrong. We weren't buying the property; we were buying the business attached to the liquor license.
Okay.
And we bought it off the previous owner, and it was me and three other people, but we're not stupid. At least back then I wasn't. I don't know if I am now or not, but we'll see. Um, we had an S corp, and it was under a corporation name.
Okay.
You've seen it a million times when you're looking at the Secretary of State stuff. All right. So yes, I owned the business inside. All right. The entity that was stocks. The building I was never purchasing. All right. So and that was from 98 to 2000, and that was with two other business partners, Keith and Jim. And I'm not telling last names and not telling the name of the thing because this taught me something. Be careful with people with a little bit of information and a little bit of, they go and they see the first thing and they don't dig any further.
Sure.
All right. So if she would have thought or knew anything about entities or corporations, she would have known that. Let me address another thing while I'm at it. All right. When I went above the board and asked to be there, I thought my license was good. All right. You have to renew it every so often.
Oh yeah.
And so it had just happened in September. Like I said, been dealing with a little bit. We had the election too going on. And I do everything. I don't think people understand what I do. I run the news page, I go to meetings, I run the group, which gets hundreds of thousands of comments a week. A week. All right. Our engagement numbers have the same numbers as groups with 500,000 people in them. I am a certified Facebook community manager until the end of this month, and I'm retaking my test. That's a significant amount of money and effort that you do for that. I'm accredited press. I keep those credentials up, right? That's every 2 years too. I do all the graphic artwork. I do all the commercials, video making. Rick Yenser took pictures for me. He takes some great pictures. Other than that, I do it all myself. So this slipped, but you know what it amounts to? I think I
Where'd
lost
you
my.
go? Oop, where'd you go?
I don't know. Hang on just a second.
Fine.
Can I dial back in under that link you gave me?
Yeah. If you wanna
Yeah,
go out.
yeah, I'll do it real quick.
All right, you're fine. Okay. Well, we will wait for that to happen. I will. So I I want to be sure. I'm going to give her a little bit of room to say what she wants to say. Obviously, she's coming on. I don't want to. I want to make sure that I'm not jumping in because I want to make. There's a couple of people that said they've had a hard time hearing, so I want to make sure that I'm giving her space to say what she needs to say without cutting her off or over speaking her because I want people to be able to hear. Okay. Oops. Here she is. She's back up here. Give me 1 second.
Not much
Ta-da! There you
happened.
are.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's no problem.
So
Technology happens.
that was my fault. That thing I will take responsibility for. And see, that's why you have friends and people that look out for you and administrative assistants and maybe a Kate.
Yeah.
You know,
Listen,
I did all that myself. So here's how hard it was to rectify. I sent you
yeah,
the thing today. I just reinstate myself.
yeah.
I
That's something.
correction from the
And,
IRS. And here's the other thing. I haven't made any money. So that's why I'm not all over filing my taxes or an entity report because I haven't even made any money.
Sure. So
Okay.
that is something that I want to be clear about because when that was stated, and that was one of the things that was said was, oh, she said that she owned Delco Com Inc. and
That's
that
what it
is
is.
it's no more. That is a quick fix. That's not an issue, and that is an easy thing to fix. You have sent me the paperwork. You went through and you've done what you need to do to fix it. So, it is what it is there. And so, yeah, you're good there. So
I appreciate. I have to thank her for that one, right? I mean, I was 2 months off. I don't think if I forgot one thing, it's the baddest thing in the world. But we can't forget that Rose Sylvie suggested someone as a lawyer who wasn't a lawyer, right?
Sure. And
Right,
that,
so
yeah,
maybe she's calling me out. I mean, maybe she's calling me out because she feels some other kind of way about that.
sure.
Right?
Sure. So that one, in the
That
grand
is
scheme
my
of
fault.
things,
I'll take total responsibility for that.
sure. Well, and I don't think that's that big a deal. I don't think it's not like, oh yeah, you screwed up. I don't think that's that big a deal. It was technically true, but
It is
easily rectifiable.
absolutely.
It
Yeah,
is no issue there.
yeah. Unlike the lawyer that couldn't rectify his, and they had to submit another one.
So that's that. Just to be clear, because a couple people said a few things, I just want to make sure. So you're saying as far as owning docks, you never owned the building. You're saying you did not own the
We bought the
building.
business inside of the building. Right?
Meaning like you were in the process
So
of trying to buy like the
no,
name.
it's attached to the liquor license back
Okay.
then. Okay, back then the address was attached to a liquor license. We had a beer and wine license. Matter
Okay.
of fact, when I purchased it a week before we opened, we found out there was a charge against the license, and even though it happened previous to us, we had to go to the ABC and address it. They had served an underage person because when they owned it, they let all ages come in. All right, so we had to go down. We had to get a lawyer here in town. He used to be the head of the ABC, and he gave him some money, and he made it go away.
Okay.
And we had to go down there and have a hearing and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were able to open on time. All right, we were open, like I said, we did 98, 99, 2000. I remember those New Years, and then we dissolved the business. I took myself out of it in 2000.
Okay. And so are you saying, is that the same? Because I've never bought a business like that. Is that the same thing as like buying it on contract?
Well, no, yes, we made payments to Doc for that.
Okay.
Yes, because he didn't want to run the business anymore. He just wanted to come and play. And every Wednesday, he and Phil Dunn, who just passed away, and many other people, that Governor Davis, who passed away, and now Governor Davis Memorial Band plays at the bar I work at, which is the Hitching Post. All right, they play on Tuesdays. So they played there then, and all the people that come there to play. All right, so they did that every Wednesday. So we were running the business, the alcohol sales, all that in our name. All right, the building was Doc's. All right, I also owned a catering business out of there, something different, Inc. And I don't know why Mary couldn't find my paperwork for that, but it was owned by that. Matter of fact, it about kept me held up when I went to get my bail bond license in, I believe, 2018 or 2016, something like that. Um, so I went to get my bail license, and you can't owe any state taxes. Well, when I dissolved the corporation, I signed my part. I gave it to my business partner. She didn't file the paperwork. So they kept adding sales tax on top of for over 20 years. And I filed taxes, I filed state taxes. Like nothing was ever mentioned until they did the deep dive because you can't owe state sales tax if you're going to be a bail bond agent. You can't have a felony in the last 10 years. You have to be squeaky clean, right? So they get a hold of me and tell me I owe $250,000 and I hit the floor, But a blessed lady named Glenda at the Indiana IRS here in Muncie, she got it down to $69. And I
Jesus.
graciously took that. And so I know we own that, that all this has happened. So, I mean, this is why when you're a journalist, you interview people because the truth is that we're all living a life. You're living one, I'm living one. We all have different things that we're dealing with.
Sure.
And when you're a public official, that's one thing. When you're an elected official or an appointed official, that's one thing. But see, when I went to go to the Human Rights Commission meeting, because I was thinking about joining that, and that's what really was the catalyst for this whole thing.
Yeah, that's what the whole thing was there.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to go to a meeting before I threw my hat in the ring, and me and Yinzer showed up there, and they were coming out because they weren't having the meeting. That was Rose's fault. That's what she said. So everyone misses a meeting every once in a while. It happens because we're human beings. And, we're not getting paid for this. All right. That's why it's so hard to put citizens on boards.
Yeah.
Because it's so political. And Jeff Robinson told me that. I should have listened to him. He told me that. Because it's political who's on those boards. And if you think just because that citizen seems like they're doing it for a good reason or not, chances are it's political. All right. I'm learning that more every day. And I don't think about those kind of things, man. I think about, truth and what's right. And I try to do the best I can. I don't compete against nobody but who I was yesterday. All right. So I don't. You do what you do. I do what I do. There's room for everybody to participate.
Sure.
What there isn't room for.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of bullshit. Because I really didn't want to go on a show the first time and have to talk about me. I'd like to be talking about the problems in the city and what the hell's going on. I really didn't want to tell however many people are going to hear this that I'm losing my eyesight.
Yeah, right.
I should have privacy because I'm a citizen. But because I put myself because I go and speak for people that can't speak for themselves, somehow that means that I'm open to the same thing that your elected officials and whatnot are. However it works, I don't care.
Right.
I'm going to still do it.
Yeah.
And so I'll take responsibility for the things that are mine. I'm not a perfect person. And that's that. Anybody that is, feel free to get a hold of me and show me how you do it.
Right.
Because I'd love to.
Absolutely. So as far, I mean, I think that was probably one of the biggest and the biggest allegations was the docs thing. With that, with you thinking that that's out of the way, then, I mean, anything else on there that you feel that you want people to know? Hey, this is not what happened. Everything,
What I give a shit about. To be honest, it was about the fact that I did own the entity we called it Doc Holliday's Premier Rock Club. By the way, Doc Holliday's the Western Star or whatever, play on words.
Yeah.
And we finished and redid the whole inside, which was still the way it was when Mike Martin owned it. Okay, so as much as he owned Docs, I did. I was certainly held accountable for it. So, and then I want to make sure I addressed what had happened with my own license. Because I didn't want Ro, even though she's obviously mad at me about something. I didn't want Ro to think that I had gone into that knowing I didn't have a business. I would have never applied.
Well, sure.
That was one of the, that was, I mean, come on, man, I have to be above reproach. If I misspell a word, I got 27,000 people tell me about it.
Yeah.
Right? And most of those group are not my fan club. It ain't a group of, yay, Liz, you know.
Right.
It's a group of people just like this waiting on me to fall. And, she should know that, she who made the post, because she was a moderator there.
Sure.
I sent you a lot of what happened with her leaving my area. How'd you like that description of her, how she wanted to have her group and then how it turned out?
Right. So that's interesting because
But I'm no
you
guru.
yeah, right. You two were friends, and so that's I think kind of what was interesting,
Yeah.
because it was like all of a sudden then there was uh
I'm scrolling along Facebook and I see she started another group and she's talking shit about how we're not going to do scanner updates and ambulance posts and other things because, blah, blah. We don't think it's necessary. Well, the cornerstone of what I do is public information. If we don't utilize this and do the Freedom of Information Act requests and make people accountable for how they're spending our tax money, then they will get rid of it. We won't have access to it anymore. And it's hard enough to get those records, as you well know.
right.
So it's just ridiculous to think that, you would say that if you know me and call yourself my friend at all. I mean, we take a lot of flack for posting the jail list. And we don't post your picture. We will post your
Right.
charges. If you happen to be in jail and we take the pictures that day, then there you are. It's a deterrent. I think we need more of them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
apologize for that, and I'm not going to have anybody on my team that's not aligned to that. And not everyone that leaves being a moderator has to leave in a salty way. You saw
Right.
the whole conversation. I had it in my moderation group chat so they could all see it. And then you saw the email, the message she sent me after she wasn't in the chat anymore. And I blocked her that day in 2022. And I don't even think of marrying. I don't.
Right.
I
Right.
don't think of, I don't sit around here. I'm not a drama. So I never went to a group. I never tried. I never went to any of it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
She cleaned the podium really well during COVID. I
Well,
appreciated that.
that is true.
And then, stick to what you do. I do.
Right. Right.
And what I do is not follow around crazy people that already slighted me
Right.
and chase them around and see if they're talking about me. Of course they are.
Right. Right.
I
So
mean, I don't know why I'm not doing anything but what is right and what I feel is right.
Ryan, hell, that's not bad. I've got haters of mine posting mug shots from 10 years ago.
Well, it's the first
10
time
years
that
is
they
like
really
another
come out
life.
like this. But the
What?
rest of it, when she talked about the drama in the group, and look, I provide a platform, many platforms on many different social media. I have a newsletter, I have a podcast, we're doing a lot of different things. We're just trying to get the word out about what's going on in our area to the people in our area. We also help a lot of people with social services, where to go, how to do things. There in my group, there's also learning modules where you can go and learn why you should vote. We've registered a ton of people since we started 6 years ago. I have one of the best free food people on my group as a moderator. She goes to the free food places and gets that, gives it away, and then she shows people what they can make with what they took home this week. All right. We have a subgroup just for her for that. We have a great pet group, that a subgroup for the lost pets and questions about their pets. People around here care about their pets. The main group is for what's going on in your area, what's going on in your government. And keeping
Yeah.
up with all that takes about all my day. I don't have any time left over to go around. One time I was scrolling through Facebook and there's been I think there's 13 or 14 hater groups because they all go think that they can do a group, right?
Right.
It's so easy, isn't it? Right? And so I invite them to do so. You can do it better, go for it. Well,
Right.
I add myself to all of them and they just accept them all at once. They don't look at them. So I'm in
Yeah.
almost every one of them. And I scroll through my feed and I see that I eat small children and do magic, right? And I'm like, are you a special kind of stupid? So I post that Maleficent, gif where she's
Yes, right.
yeah. I try to have fun with it. I try to laugh. I try not to take it personal. But this was personal. And unfortunately, I have to bore you people with my personal life. That sucks. I
Well,
hate it. I
Councilman Ryan Webb said Liz is a godsend. Without her group, I wouldn't have anywhere to post selfies of me in muscle shirts. So,
only with the cars, Ryan. Only with the cars.
Jesus. That's
No,
so.
I mean, I hate that it's a problem. I hate that Roe feels slighted and it's a problem. But the
Yeah,
fact is,
what do you think happened there?
what I really think's happened is you participated in the election.
Yeah.
After I left the city council meeting, not this last one, but the time before that, um, I was stopped outside by Aaron Clark, who was yammering on about the BOT. And first he's like, "Are you okay?" Because I didn't get the Human Rights Commission, and I'm like, "I'm fine. How about you?"
Right.
You didn't do so well. And he went right into that BOT thing, and me and him have never discussed it, and he don't like me anyway, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. Well, Yentzer had told me, Richard Yentzer, that writes for me and does the podcast. Some of you might know him from the Star Press.
Yeah,
Right?
Rick Yenser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he goes to all the meetings. He's the ones that get up and ask if they're going to use union workers, and he holds them to it, right?
Newsman, author, and
He's been
outlaw.
a godsend. He's been a wealth of information in the last 6 years,
Oh,
and I've
yeah.
known him a lot longer. And I think I have I've kicked him out of every bar I ever worked in. Right?
Listen, I'll say this. Rick Yenser, a lot of people have a lot of different things to say about him, and Rick has some demons, but as far as having knowledge of being able to look at political numbers and look at what's going on there, there's not really many people that's more sharp than he
No,
is.
and he
And,
got a lot of
you know,
compliments that night there at the city council meeting for his articles that he's been writing.
his article, like in the last like 2 weeks leading up before the
They're on
arrest,
point.
was wild. Yeah, they
And
were
this
great.
man goes to every government meeting, the
Mhm.
smallest thing that they put on. He's at your art walk. He's at your June 19th. He's at everything. And
Yeah.
so I appreciate that myself, especially with my eyesight the way it is. Getting around for me is a little bit of difficulty. So he's been a godsend with that. And he's wrong. He's in jail now. And I know that's already been out. But here's what happened. You want an exclusive?
Yeah, let's hear what happened.
All right. Well, we left the city council meeting and he went a weird way, and I was kind of yelling at him about it. But we were going to meet another counselor at Cheers to discuss the BOT thing because that was a big thing that day. And we go and I stop to get cigarettes, and McClure's right there by Cheers. And I go in, there's no other cars around. I come out, there's no other cars around. We're leaving the gas station to turn right there to make the little jog over to Cheers. And all of a sudden, the answer says, "Oh shit." I look back and there's a Muncie police officer behind us. So we get pulled over in the parking lot of Cheers. And what I didn't know is they're all watching us inside on the cameras. That's great. And he gets out and the officer says, "Turn around, put your hands behind your back." And I'm like, "What?" And then the answer being the answer, he starts to kind of, fuss with them a little bit. And it's cracking me up. And I'm like laughing. And I'm like, "Answer, stop it. You're fucking killing me. I can't deal with it." And the officer's like, "Get in the car." And I'm like, "I'm in the car. I'm not even left the car."
I can't
Right?
get any more in the car.
Right. And so he puts in the back of the car, and I find out that Itzer he was on suspension from his many DUIs.
HTV. So he was, I want to say for the record, Rick and Rick will admit this. Rick has had an issue with drinking. But Rick was not drinking that night. He did not, he was not OWI.
No, he was not. And he wasn't on the previous charge either. He just been caught twice. He got arrested March 18th of, I believe, 2022. He had done everything he needed to do for that, including his community service. He was still on probation, though. And then he got another one downtown leaving the city meeting. Why he would drive to the city hall, I never know. But he drove up that day and he got me there at the steps when I was talking to Aaron Clark. I believe we were followed from the city council meeting because of our speaking out. Now, I can't prove that. That's just what I believe. That's why I haven't put it out public. But John, this is just me, a person, telling what happened to me and what I thought. Okay, so
Sure.
I'm not making no threats or, yeah, I ain't doing no lawsuits. Right? It's just what I think. Because right after that's when I get attacked. And then
Yeah.
it's coming from Roe, who I was just at the election at both headquarters where I go to report on numbers. And I'm at the Republican headquarters and she's hugging me and hanging out and telling me how she feels about the election she ran. And I didn't know we had a problem. So I found out when I did the human rights thing, and she was like, well, this requires confidentiality. And are you going to be able to be confidential with your being in the media? The first thing I wanted to say is, and I didn't, well, I kept your secrets, didn't I, Ro? The second thing I wanted, and then I landed on real quick, was knowing when to keep your mouth shut is a form of journalism.
Yeah.
Like I told you earlier, if I told everything I knew because I had the information that Mary thought she had, well, I could write a lot of stories about a lot of people. But then I would just be part of the problem. And that's not what I'm used to doing. Okay?
Right.
Who I am. I can't help it. I find things out of it. People tell me things. That's just who I am too. But
Yeah.
I know when to keep my mouth shut. So I figured then we had a problem. But then when I was watching the city council meeting the other day and I saw her questioning him, I'm legally required and allowed to miss 2 meetings. I didn't want to explain this in an email because I just met this man. And now he's had some crazy woman giving him information about me and making him a spectacle. So I thought that deserved an in-person thing. I'm old school. So if people think I should have wrote him a message or whatever, will you tell me how you feel when you find out you're losing your eyesight? And see how capable you are, and you see if you want to talk about it in an email that can be reproduced, passed around, and made fun of because it happens. Look what's happening to me now. I mean, I'm mortified by this. Not because I care that I was wrong or that I wasn't wrong about the other thing or any of this bullshit. I thought her and I were at least friends enough to leave each other alone when we didn't align. I certainly have given her that space. And I've heard
Yeah.
the debacle. I've heard the debacle that became her group.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
I didn't
yeah.
go get involved in that and try to talk smack with the people involved and try to write a story about her because I'm not a gossip column.
Right. Well, and I think the deal with Roe, Roe was, as some
Well,
of
I
the
campaigned
information we
against
were
the
talking about.
mayor. That's no mistake.
Well, yeah.
I did. I
Uh,
mean, what he did to Troy Ingram was a fucking
yeah,
travesty. I
yeah,
can't deal with it at all. I won't have it, and I can't align with anybody that does.
yeah,
Period. He was the best counselor I've personally seen
yeah,
on the face. So,
yeah.
you know, shout out
We,
to you, Troy. What you did at the last city council was tough.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Troy was amazing. Troy,
man.
I hope Troy stays involved.
He will.
We've had a couple people ask, and it's up to you if you want to say, is Rick still incarcerated?
He is. I mean, he's going to be there for some time. Like I said, he had a previous driving while suspended, not drunk again. A few months before, and I was unaware of, or I wouldn't have been in the car with him. Um, I wasn't real happy about that whole situation myself, and I took his car to keep it from going to, the tow yard, and
Yeah,
his family has since come got it. But he got his. He went to court the next day that he got arrested on his new charges, and they gave him a $10,000 bond and a 15-day hold for his probation violation. Normally, that would have been it. He would have been out in 15 days. He would have restarted his probation, and he could have still maybe got out of this. But the next day after that, he went to court on the old driving while suspended, and Dowling revoked his bond. As a previous bail bond agent, that means you can't get another bond until you're
Yeah.
sentenced on that or they release you. So he told me on the phone a few days back that he might be have a slight chance of getting out on the 20th, but it looks like he might be in there until he's sentenced, and that will be at the judge's pleasure.
20th of
December. Yes.
Okay. And
I'll
so
be there in the court that day, and we'll go from there. I'm going to be making a video of all the pictures that Rick has taken this year, and it is a lot. I mean, it describes our community so great. I wish this could hit the news instead of the cheating firemen and
yeah, right.
department heads and as state board of accountings. It'd be nice
Yes.
if we could see these pictures because they describe you all so wonderfully. It's everything that you guys go and do in this community.
Yeah, I've not even seen those, but I see Rick. Anytime I've ever seen Rick at a meeting, I always look and he's taking a picture, and it's not always of what you think it would be.
No.
It's not always
together too sometimes that are just remarkable that he has those two people standing next to each other, right?
Yeah, right.
Gotta worry about him. Now look, I'm not trying to excuse what Rick's done, right?
Sure.
He's absolutely responsible for what he did. I was angry about his fabrication of me, about taking care of things, or I would have never been in a vehicle with him. But I have to accept this new thing I'm getting used to, which is called help. And so when I'm trying to get to a city council meeting, I ask the question, and because he's my friend, I believed him, and he was wrong for that too. We'll deal with that another time. There's room for mistakes being your friend. There's room for mistakes. And hey, according to the mayor, we're a second chance city. So
yeah, that is
Rick
true.
has a great chance as anybody is being forgiven by the public because he actually doesn't require anything from you.
Yeah.
He's not up there setting walls. He's doing the work that everybody else should be out there doing. And so he gets some credit for that in my book. So I'm not honoring his mistakes. I'm trying to give him enough hope to keep it going so that maybe when he gets out, he'll go back to what he does.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe he'll learn something here because he actually has a consequence because he didn't need to be out driving. That was wrong.
Right.
So he's not doing real well with it. I'll be honest.
I'm sure that's rough.
Yeah,
how old is he?
69 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm not excusing his behavior at all. That's a fact. But I'm a friend, so I'm going to do what I can do that's appropriate to help him because he's done a lot for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I don't want to hold you too late and let you get back to life, but before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to say or anything that you'd like people to know?
Like I said, I apologize to the community that you have to hear all this crap. It's not my usual. But had she not sent it to the council and my ethics board, I wouldn't even be responding.
Sure.
That part makes it defamation, even if half of it is a half truth. Now I find half truths a lot more dangerous than outright lies. This community is led a lot by them. Because we want to believe the best in people. The fact is, I haven't inserted myself into the public eye, but I don't work for anybody. I don't work for any of you. I don't work for the city, and I don't work for any of you, even in my group. All right? I don't. I'm a private citizen. I pay my taxes. I go to work. I do what I do too. I just happen to do about 80 hours of work on my community because I was taught to do that. All right? So there's going to be things people are going to say about me because I put myself here to do that. And I want them to. That keeps me honest. It keeps me sharp. And it makes me remember to do the right thing whenever you can, as much as you know. But we're all going to make mistakes. You are. We both thought Ridnour was going to be great. And, so we all do it. You should be a little more compassionate because none of us are perfect. And, those of you that aren't doing anything and aren't out there getting involved and you're writing your whatever stories and doing your whatever groups and whatever, okay, go do that. But, this could be you one day. The story could be about you. So I know that sells videos and content and all kinds of those things, but that isn't really what I'm doing. So
Right.
this is kind of uncomfortable for me, and I appreciate the platform to
Yeah.
tell what happened. I know there'll be a kickback from this, and I'm not interested in explaining anymore. Just so you know, I'd love to come on the show again. I think we could talk about some way more
Oh, yeah.
important things than this, and I'd love to do that. But I don't
Absolutely.
want to talk about me no more. Just let it go,
Sure.
let it roll. I don't give a shit. I don't. I really don't. If people knew how little I thought of them, unless they were standing in front of me, they'd be dismayed, I think. Um, I got a lot to do in a day, and I take that on myself, and I do that for my own reasons, and that's really nobody's business. But I don't make a dollar from this, I haven't since I started. And I get this kind of shit in my inbox all the time, but they just don't send it to the city council.
Right.
Many of
Yeah.
those people on that council are my friends, and I wouldn't want them thinking that I would throw my hat in the ring, and I knew, So I wanted to clear those things up, and I do appreciate the platform and all the comments. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, I bet you can find me. I'm not exactly hiding. So
Tell people where your page is. I mean, if it's on Facebook.
Facebook groups, it's Delaware County Community Awareness. And then we have subgroups under that, the food one and the pet one, and you can find that in our original about the group when you go there. Then you have the Manifest Destiny Reporter, and that's where our just news stories come out. Rick wrote a lot of those. I'm in talks with a couple other people that want to contribute. We always welcome editorials written by anybody. I think Ryan Webb and Troy Ingram has taken us up on that before. And they wrote articles to the Manifest Destiny Reporter. And then there is, I work at the Itching Post. I am involved in live local music. I have been since I participated in Docs. And so come down there. We have 4 nights of music, including the Governor Davis Band on Tuesdays. And then we have big bands on Saturday and acoustic acts on Friday. So come down and become a part of getting out there and supporting live local music. We had a great show last weekend with Stone's Throw, a very active band around here, and a lot of my friends. And I think they play Save the Mouse on New Year's. And then this weekend at Hitching Post, we have Prankster, which is another great band that people
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're out of Winchester. So come down and be a part of it. If you want to talk to me in person, I'm there every Friday and Saturday. Come on down.
All right.
And any other time, I'm an open book. So if you have a question, ask me. We may not agree, but I'm going to respect your right to question me. And when you get over the line, I'm going to tell you. I'm not afraid of that. I set a boundary. So I wish
very good.
I want us all to win.
All right. I appreciate it, Liz. Thank you very much.
Thanks so
And
much. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure we'll see you around.
All right, bye.
Hey, hold on, real quick. They got one question to ask you. Who do you think is going to be the president of the council?
Jerry Dishman.
Do you think it's going to be Jerry Dishman?
I do.
All right. Yeah, I think that there might be some moving and shaking. I sure as hell hope it's going to be. We'll have to see.
I think we need somebody that's been on the council without any interruption. You kill me.
Yes.
You're fucking killing me right now. I just think a seasoned council person should lead them because we have so many new ones coming in who've never done it before.
Yeah. I think Jerry would be.
Even Nora, who has done it many years before, she hasn't been there lately. In the last 4 years, and a lot of significant things have happened. And I think it would be best after all the drama for her to be able to sit back and get her group and get her. Yeah, everybody just take a pill. It's gonna be fun anyway. I mean, 6-3.
it's gonna be an interesting next 4 years. I will say that.
At the first city council meeting, I might be on the agenda.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Yep. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Miss Elizabeth Edgell from Delaware County community awareness group addressing the accusations. And we had a couple people just asking. Kate commented early on, and I think we kind of said them, but basically, long story short, she was on the ethics board. Just to kind of give you guys a point of reference, she was on the ethics board. Nobody said anything. Another board position opened up, and to be on that board, you needed to be a woman business owner. And she stepped forward and said she would like to be on the board. And they asked her what businesses she owned, and she said that she owned the Delaware County Community Awareness, and that she had formerly owned Docks Downtown. And when she said that, that struck a lot of people like, what? Huh? Because, I've been in Docks. I've been in a band that's played in Docks. Been in Docks many times. And I'll say, I too, that caused me to kind of, German Shepherd cock my head a little bit. And I was like, I didn't know. I don't think that. Yeah, Jack off Jack. I get what you're saying with that. And most of the things I would say that some boards are weighted like they want them to be an even amount of Democrats and Republicans, or they need to be, you want them to be 3 men and 3 women, or, 6 men and 5 women, or 5 men and 6 women, or I think I keep saying the same thing. 6 men, 5 women, or 5 women, 6 men, or 6 men, 5 women, however you want. As long as there's more men than women always, that's the number one thing. Or, no, that's not good. Wait a minute. We need it to be the other way. We need more women, less men. Anywho, what the hell? Jack, how did you see something tattooed on the back of her neck? What the hell? I never saw the back of her head. How did you see something on the back of her neck? What in the hell? That's the weirdest thing. That is weird what just happened there. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. That was going to get really weird. We were going to get, this is really strange. Jack knew a tattoo on the back of Liz's neck. Joey's got a tattoo that's on Jack's neck. I don't know what's happening. Hey, I do want to say something, and this is really weird. And not at all something that I would normally talk about. I talked that is, I'm not going to say who or what this is, but I talked to this person today. Let me make sure. 90,000. What year is it? So 43. I talked to an acquaintance, someone close-ish to me, a 43-year-old woman today that last week was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she had said that they had she had went through they just found it through a standard examination, going through and having a mammogram, and they found the breast cancer, and there's 2 spots in the left breast. One of them is closer up, and one of them is back by the chest wall. and said that they are about the size of rice grains of rice. And she just said, hey, I want you to do me a favor. Periodically on your show, just remind the women that watch to make sure to get their tests. And so I thought, all right, I will say that. And she wanted me to say, it does not matter if you have insurance. It does not matter if you don't have insurance. There are programs out there that will take care of that. And if you are a woman in need and you do not have insurance, I tell you what I'll do. I don't know that way, but I will ask her. I'll get that information tomorrow and I will pass that along to you so you know where to go, at least maybe here in Indiana. But if you're women, check for breast cancer. If you're men, check for testicular cancer. Check for do whatever you got to do. Get the cord ran up your butt. Feel around. Do whatever you got to do. Check for all the cancers. And do all of that you can. That's probably a good thing. It is good news-ish. She said that they're considering it stage 0 cancer. And even they've got to go in next Friday and do another biopsy, and it might be, it's stage 0 right now. It could be stage 1, but I am asking for, definite thoughts and prayers for this person, for her family, and so yeah, definitely consider that. Yeah, prostate cancer for men, breast cancer for men, breast cancer for women. Cancer sucks. Cancer's a bitch. Fuck cancer. I don't know how else to say that. So, lost a dad to cancer. Kidney cancer, there's no way to test for it. And you really can't feel it because your kidney doesn't have pain receptors inside it. So people's like, well, why does the kidney stone hurt? The kidney stone does not hurt when it is inside the kidney. It only hurts when it goes down to the tubing. That's when it hurts. The more you know. So my dad's the way my dad found his kidney cancer was he was going in to get a hernia operation, and they went in to scan him before his surgery, and they found the kidney cancer. So that shit's scary. So keep that in mind. And so, yeah, just keep that in mind. This is a really bizarre cancer message, but well worth it. And so everybody should check and do your thing. So I hate to hear that. And I'm very happy to hear that, Alva. Very, very happy. I am going to let you know this weekend, Alva, I'm going to do tell me one more time, and I promise we won't do a massive 3-week debate about where you live, but give me the name of your town, and I'm writing it down, and I'm going to do some studying, and we'll have the first round of Alva City News next week. And I don't know if that new kid is here. I'm sure he's not. And I'm so bad about that. And I'm so, so sorry. New kid, if you're still here, thank you. I'm such a horrible host. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe. And if you're not still here, well, you suck anyways. So, if you're not here, you really suck. Don't forget mental health. Taxes are being paid. Okay, I'm writing it down. Writing it down right now. THIBODAUX. LAFOURCHE Parish, Louisiana. So Alva Land. So we'll do some Alva Land news next week. We'll see how interesting that'll be. And hey, I'm really excited, ladies and gentlemen, about this. Before we roll out of here, God, I said it again. Before we go, I'm really excited about this news. Indiana election law found unconstitutional. Yay! Holy crap, this is some really big news. So Brandon and Kate and I have been talking about this behind the scenes. Brandon is gearing up to come on and do some amazing brandoning. So we'll have a Brando Rudd appearance here in the next very soon. And we've got a lot of things to talk about as we take on state craziness and everything that's going on there. But for those that are interested in this, I'm going to put the entirety of the document. I'm going to put it, I've put it on Facebook, but I'm going to put the entirety of that in the community as well. So you can go onto the community and look at this. Wonder how this will impact party politics. It's going to impact party politics badly. I mean, meaning it's going to be good for us, good for citizens. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for the people in the places of power. I have already sent out an email to the local party chairman to get their response. And if they respond, which they won't, I'll let you know what they say. But it's good news. Let me see what Alva said here. Oh, good God, Ryan. Should take a look at Governor Jeff. Very interesting. I'll take a look at that. Hey, you know what? It's Thursday. You know that means more than likely you will not see me tomorrow. I want to say this. I have no intentions of coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. It's a night off. I have no intentions of coming on here. If something happens that you all need to know about, you'll find out about it on Sunday. I would love to know how much longer DIM headquarters will remain as a viable location. Man, I don't know. I don't think much longer, honestly. I think we'll see it merge into a thing kind of like the Republicans do, where they meet like at a bar. They meet at like the Knights of Columbus in their little meeting room. I think we'll see something like that. I don't know. So, all right, folks, I'm going to be off Friday and Saturday. We will see you back here Sunday night, Sunday the 10th, and at least the Dims have a real location. I am a real boy. I'm sure Kate is excited for 2 nights off. Are you?
Yeah. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so
Kate's
used
like,
to being.
no, I want you to come on and do it.
It's like 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I supposed to do with myself now?
Yeah, right.
Like hang out with my family and shit?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I don't even remember how to do that anymore.
It's
just like everybody go to bed. Mom gets to go to bed early. Everybody go to bed.
Yeah, right. We ruined Kate's life. It's not her life. She's like, I'm okay. We've ruined Kate's family's life. We've destroyed a whole litany of children and a husband. And they don't care. I know them. Thank you, Liz, for coming on. I'm sure it's going to get some feedback. It'll be interesting to see what folks say in between. So
my 10-year-old is desperate for me to do this.
Do what?
Start a show.
For him?
He wants to do a cooking show.
I want him to do that, and I'll produce it.
He's actually really excited about that Mr. Christopher will help him.
Yeah, I want to do that. And
We're getting into Christmas baking, so maybe we'll do a couple little Christmas baking videos.
It'd be called
we'll
the
have
kitchen.
to child-proof Kate's recipes because
The kitchen spotlight.
the kitchen spotlight.
We
Yes.
can do it on this. We can we can call it whatever. It can just be another podcast under Lighthouse Studios. So it'll
there
just
you go.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. So whatever he wants to call it. It'll be
Yeah.
something German, right?
I don't know. I have no idea
Like
the
Rusty Kitchen. What would that be in German?
I don't know.
Huh?
My German
Sounds
is
like
not.
something
I know
German.
enough German to get food and be polite, man.
It sounds like something German. Let's find out together.
Oh, goody. You have to put it
Well,
on the screen.
what's the in German?
Huh? Well, it depends on the gender of the your noun.
Okay. Well. Okay. Hold on. So. Okay. Ooh. Oh.
Roasted Kuka.
Yeah. You beat me to it.
So it's feminine.
Rustic.
The rostig. The rostig Kuka. Cooking
German.
with the libertarian.
What?
We should just call it the dark side.
The dark side?
We do a hell of a lot of baking and making cookies.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
You doing the dark side auf Deutsche?
Yeah.
God.
Hold on. Die dunkle Seite.
Yeah, it's dunkel. Dunkel. Long you.
Hear it. Yeah, I can hear it now. Die dunkle Seite. Seite?
Die
Seite.
dunkel Seite. No, Seite. Die dunkel Seite.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, see, that one's really easy to remember dark because dark beers in German are just called dunkels.
So they're called what?
A dunkel.
Okay. Dunkel.
Dunkel. Dark beer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
And then you have Weiss beer.
Okay.
Light beer.
Light, yeah. Dunkel. Dunkel's like what? Zeitel? Oh, shit.
Julia Childs. Kate Childs. Kate's child. Dunkel sounds like a toilet action. Tasting Liberty. There you go.
Ooh, that's good.
That well, I'll have to talk to that one. He's 10, so the whole politics thing, he just thinks that people in politics are idiots.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong for the most part.
Yeah.
It's the 18-year-old and the 14-year-old that get a little crazy.
Freiheit schmecken.
Dreiheit schmecken?
Freiheit. Freiheit schmecken is tasting liberty. Or something thereof.
Schmecken.
So.
Ich liebe der Schmetterling.
Yeah.
I love butterflies.
Oh man.
We just go with like the Krankenhaus, just do Cookhouse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, see, that's because that was our conversation last night. So that's why I said the Rusty Kitchen, because I was just giving you something. That's the reason I said Rusty. I don't know where Rusty came from. That doesn't sound good, but
Skillet is cooking.
what's that? What's the first part?
I have no idea.
What's the first part, Joey?
Yeah, you got to help here, man. I told you.
Hold on, don't tell me.
I could get food and be polite. When in doubt, just say bitte. Bitte is like the multi-purpose German, the foul-mouthed cooking wench. Yeah, but I got a kid with me. I got to behave.
Oh, yeah. You do?
Well, he would like other children to watch it. Probably having someone dropping F-bombs, and I don't measure anything. Just take the fucking jar and dump half of it in.
Bad?
Probably would not be appropriate.
Schleitzes? So what is that? Bad cooking. I knew it was bad. Hey! That was great. Bad cooking. Yeah, I get it.
Cooking.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is really
Cooking with the kid.
Cooking with the kid. Oh, yeah. And so it'd be KKK for short.
Oh, God. I am not going to be unintentionally racist just because you like to be.
What's his name?
Liam.
Liam? Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Liam. None of the kids have names that start with K.
I knew that. I was like, wait, where's Kevin? Is Kevin in there?
I have a cousin named Kevin. What about Keith?
Oh, God. Oh, yes. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Keith Blotney.
Huh?
Keith Blotney.
Keith Blockney. Blotney.
Blotney. Blotney.
Blotney. Keith Blotney.
Keith Blotney.
Yeah.
I think the political...
That was probably the most horrible mishearing I've ever had in my life.
Hello,
but it
this is
works.
the political spotlight with Keith Blotney. I like it better than Christopher Bilbrey. See, here's my problem. I can't say Christopher Bilbrey without the H. I don't like doing it. And I don't like, but Keith Blotney, I might change the name of the show. I might change my name. The political spotlight with Keith Blotney.
He blocked me.
What?
Just me mishearing shit.
God, again?
No, it's fine. I heard you correctly. Keith.
No, that would be great though.
What
was it? What was it that you said? What was it that I said?
He blocked me.
He blocked me.
And you were half at the microphone and half away from the microphone. And I knew it was going to be a noun because you had a preposition right before that, but I didn't hear the he. And it sounded like Keith Blotney.
Keith Blotney. She's like,
I'm like, who the hell is that?
Keith Blotney. Yeah.
No, the kid does not. Why do you want your initial with everything?
Who? What initial?
The H. Why do you like having the H?
Because I don't like. So I don't like. Here's the thing. I don't like Chris Bilbrey. I don't like those names together. When I hear Chris Bilbrey, I have some kind of catch in my life. Chris Bilbrey sounds like an 8-year-old kid. An 8-year-old fat little kid. I mean, I was Chris Bilbrey one time.
You told me multiple times I can call you Chris, and I still always call you.
You can call me Chris.
It adds elegance to your name.
It's like Harry S. Truman. The S stood for nothing. He just thought it dignified him. That smart people, he didn't go to college. I don't think he had a high school degree. And he thought that it made him sound distinguished. Harry S. Truman. And that's really where I got that from. Is Harry S. Truman. I lied in the years, it's Superman, in the years later and told everybody it's because of my dad, because my dad was H. Dwayne Bilbrey. The H stood for the same thing, but that's a bunch of crap. It's got nothing to do with my dad. It's about Truman. So
I'm perfectly content to leave my middle initial off. However, considering what my name is on this thing, my middle initial is completely appropriate.
Yeah.
It is F for anyone who would like to know.
That's why I love it.
because my parents are evil.
Yeah, right. Yeah. My dad dated a woman one time. Her middle name was Fern. So I don't know. She might beat you.
Mine is Francis.
Francis. Yeah, that sounds really
Catholic. Yeah. It sounds really Catholic.
Hampton. It's not. Yeah, right. Yeah. Kathleen Francis. It could be worse. You could be John Mark.
Yes, I could be John Mark.
Everything could be worse if you were John Mark.
Yes.
Of course, John Mark is your sheriff.
I was very happy to get married to be able to ditch my initials.
Yes.
My maiden name is Chadwick.
Yes, KFC.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very so
the you said, hold on. Oh, that just left me. What did you say right before that?
Ditching my initials.
KFC.
Mm-hmm.
Fern. Damn it.
And no, I was not raised Catholic.
No. They just broke into
the family tree and found names that no one else had anything remotely close to. And that's how all three of us got our names. Me and my two siblings.
I had a dog named Hector. My grandmother had a dog named Hector. They had like 4 or 5 dogs named Hector.
K-A-C. I don't even know what that is.
CAC. I wouldn't want.
I know what a CAC card is, but
I wouldn't want to be that either.
I don't know if that's bad.
Is it good or bad? Where are you going with that, Joey?
I don't know. I'm terrified to find out.
I got 3 first names. Beat that. What do you mean? Yo, yeah, you do. Yes, you do. I know. Yeah, you're right. You do. It
sounds like cock.
Yeah, CAC. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, this one that wants to do the cooking is Liam.
What the
And we started the Christmas today. We made Buckeyes. Oh yes. And tomorrow we make caramel for turtles.
Ooh, do you really?
Oh yes.
Where's my where you haven't made me in a long time is potato skins.
You haven't been in Chester.
I don't come over to your house. I don't see you. There's no real reason you'd ever make me food. It's not like, so I don't know why I said that, but I did.
Christmas is just hellacious. There's candy making and cookie making and kolache making and just, it's insane.
Oh my God. Stand by, everybody. You're getting ready to see an amazing picture. I'm glad we didn't go. Stay right there, everybody. You would have been very disappointed if you would have not been able to see this. Oh, God. We're going to have such a horrible ordeal for the next 4 years.
Oh, God. Is it Sproles?
No.
Is it Dan?
It's Dan. And it's more than Dan.
Oh Lord! Well, I'll go away then, since I'm sure you're done with me now.
Oh no, you're fine. No,
made a big enough ass of myself.
No. What?
I made a big enough ass of myself.
No, you can stay here.
Nope, you share.
You don't have to go nowhere. Look here. Oh my God, it's Dan, and it's worse than Dan. It's Dale and Dan and everything. Oh, it's horrible. What's this? That looks like a picture I've made. It's going to be a long 4 years. That is so true.
Are they at a furry convention?
I think so. They're at a furry convention. No one wants to know what happened right after this sing-song. I know that's not Craig Wright next to Dan, but I'm going to pretend that it is. It's not Craig Wright, but I'm going to pretend that it does. Oh, God. Look at this. Ha 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 ha! You thought it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not. But, good Lord, look at this. Dale Basham's like really getting it. That's for real. This is not a City of Munis picture, folks. This is a real life. Matt is the deer. Craig is in the cardinal outfit. Matt Wegley. Yeah, the light up downtown, Troy Ingram. Is Dan playing guitar? I just keep seeing skritting, they call it. Wait, Lenny, let me ask you. Oh, yeah, I don't know that Nora will get airtime with Dale. Rotten fruit, maybe, yeah. Lenny, was the Law and Order you watched, was it an American Law and Order, or was it like the BBC UK Law and Order? Because their Law and Order is far better than, I mean, not really. It's not really, because nothing beats Lenny Briscoe. But I love me some UK Law and Order on the Beeb. Okay, it was an American one. What's the woodpecker in the back have to do with anything? Nothing, but we've elected him twice now, so I guess he's just going to be here. I feel like I wish more people, I feel like that was a solid joke, and I wish I could have heard laughter. Oh, you mean the woodpecker in the back. I got it. Okay. This was Dan's secondhand band. Yeah. Woodpecker's a great name for Dan. That's a Roadrunner. Got it. Right even before I saw Dobie Socks. And I don't care who you are, Dobie Socks. Whatever your name is, in the first 3 lines of your writing, your personality comes out. It's just no question.
Number one, it's pronounced Dobby. And Dobby getting socks meant that he was free.
What?
Dobby. It's Harry Potter, man. You need to geek out more.
Oh, God. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was Dobie Gillis. I was geeking out. Yeah, it does. Yeah. It is. The member of the cheaper seats has brought up to my attention, it looks like Dan has a woodpecker going on here. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, hey, look, and here's Lola Maurer. Where's she been? Oh, God. Okay, well, this has been crazy, folks. All right, so I'm glad I saw that. I'm glad I did not make that. No, listen, you can get online and see that. Look, no, I swear to God, I didn't make it. It's online on the city. An actual real professional photographer and everything took that. Like a professional photographer. Oh my God, now I'm not going to be able to find it. People are going to think that I did it. Hold on. Matt Howell is the person who took it, everybody. Oh, man, it looks so much better. Not like that. That looks fuzzy. Hold on. Let me show you. That looks so clear there. We're in trouble. Don't need to just be going through that guy's personal pictures. That's weird. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have just about done it for tonight. That does it. Dale's about to swallow the microphone. That's what she said. He said. They said. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I've been trying to play something as a, I've been trying to play it as a short, for a couple days, but I've not been able to find it. I've not been able to play it the way that I actually wanted it to. So I'm just going to live. I'm going to play it on here, and let you guys see it. And the title was going to be, "What in the Drug-Fueled Fever Dream Is This?" Let me show it to you. Because I wanted to be able to put writing on it. I need to get a video editor. I'm going to get me a video editor, and then I'll be able to do what I wanted to do. But I couldn't do it the way I wanted to, and I was... Hold on here a second.
Are you playing your video as our goodnight music?
This will be our good... Well, it's not our good... It's only 53 seconds. Oh, so okay. We'll play this. This will be like the postscript, and then we'll go out.
Okay.
This is going to be fun, folks. This was what you're going to see is, I don't know why it was going on, but it happened in March 14th of 2014. March 14th of 2014. So keep that in mind.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Good night! It's definitely Brandon. Yeah, I agree.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday.